Doing? I hope you guys have been well. I'm sorry I haven't been able to be here. I had strep throat. Oh, okay. Well, apparently that wasn't showing because there was a message on the screen that I had to okay. So guys, I hope everybody is doing good and you can hear me okay. I know the angle is weird because I forgot to set it to stream horizontally, so it was making me go vertical, and I hate this angle because it's hard to get it right. So how is everybody? Hey Kia, how are you? I'll put my stuff down in the chat. How's everybody doing? I missed you guys. And for those who are new here, you can always book your own reading, psychicbellalove.com. And I don't DM people on Instagram offering readings. So if you ever get a message like that, it's not from me. My real info is all in the pinned description on every video. And then I'm also putting it pinned in the comments here too. Hey Ronnie, hey Can, how are you? And you can always get exclusive content on patreon.com. That is the only place that I take requests for any types of videos. And content is all exclusive. I don't post it there and then repost it on YouTube later. We talk about the Illuminati and history, religion, race, everything that we cannot talk about over here because all the mainstream platforms want to censor everybody constantly. Hey Raina, hey Amanda, how are you guys? My week has been okay. Kia, how has yours been? I just feel like I'm playing catch up because I had strep throat, so then I obviously had to take that week off because I couldn't speak. And then I ran out of time trying to play catch up, so I didn't get to come on live any other time. And then this week, Mercury retrograde has just been Mercury retrograding, even though it's not officially here yet. But I was going to tell you guys, if you look at, retrogrades in general, they usually have some sort of pattern to them, and how it affects you personally. So like, maybe keep a journal and see like what are the reigning themes for me, whether it's Venus retrograde or Saturn retrograde, and how that tends to affect you. I know for me personally, like the different, Mercury retrogrades, they seem to have like a pattern for me, whereas like the winter retrograde, something will always break and I have to replace it, like a phone or a computer or something like that. The springtime, that is when I have the most like tech glitch issues, like my emails aren't opening or YouTube wasn't letting me upload anything or go live or something like that. And then for me personally, like summer and fall retrogrades, I always feel like I have to like let go of something or someone. So, it may be for you that the pattern is when a retrograde is like in a certain element, like air sign affects you, or when it's in Gemini or something like that. And, also it could be seasonal too, because I know like spring, if you guys didn't know, is very attached to technology because spring is all about renewal and transformation and upgrades. And technology is an energy that's constantly evolving and all about, moving forwards and new things and new ideas and new places that we can go with it. So of course, those two energies, when we have a Mercury retrograde during that springtime energy where it is so connected to tech, and Aquarius and Pisces energy are also very connected to technology as well, then that's why people tend to have like all of these crazy like tech issues during Mercury retrograde in a springtime. And also that's also why spring Mercury retrogrades will also bring up a lot of like hidden stuff because we are now in the time of the sun and spring and blooms and, you know, all of that. So it's bringing up all that shit that was like hidden under the snow and the leaves, basically. So, like, you know, that's when we get all these exposing of people and these dark hidden secrets start to come out. So just wanted to say that because I've been doing research on it because I'm like, why is it that I always deal with this? So, hey Naposh, hey Cherie, how are you? I know, I've been so tired too. Have you guys been having a hard time sleeping? I have had the hardest time going to sleep, staying asleep, and also just feeling like a lot of like anxiety, but not like anxiety like I had really like a real reason to have anything to stress about, just anxiety, like I'm picking up on collective energy anxiety. And you know, I think that it's a lot of really good sorry, I was like reading the comments. Sorry, I started responding to you, Kia. Hold on a second. Let me finish my thought. I was saying, I feel like this happens also during certain like new moons or full moons or when there is like a spring equinox because, you know, a lot of people, whether we realized it or not, went through a spiritual up-leveling, so to speak. And so when you are in that space, you have to understand that you shed the old you and you have upgraded. And so you're in that position of switching into the new version of yourself. So there's an adjustment period where you do kind of feel uncomfortable because you have to realize this isn't the old me, this is a better version of me, and this is probably a result for a lot of people because we have been doing our spiritual work and we have been healing, and a lot of people were getting frustrated and feeling like, I don't know if I made any, you know, good like progress in my journey, and we did, even if we weren't giving ourselves credit and realizing it. And so, you know, you're just kind of going through that shift and that adjustment period and getting into who am I in this moment and learning that person. But give yourself a credit, guys, too, that you have to understand the new you does not want the same old shit that old you wanted. Because old you was willing to settle for stuff and she would take, or he would take, what was acceptable in the moment. New you, not doing it. So these are always times that you want to sit down and reevaluate the things that you are trying to pursue in your life. You know, do those goals and dreams that I maybe thought that I needed to chase after, are they as important now? You know, are they really going to serve me in the long run? Or do I need to maybe think about, I need to aim higher going forwards? Or I want to go in a different direction, or those things don't matter to me, or they aren't as important anymore. So don't get caught up, you guys, in the sunk cost fallacy of, oh, well, for 10 years, I've been thinking that I needed to do XYZ things, so I have to ride on that until the wheels fall off. It's okay to change your mind because you're always going to change as a person and your needs are always going to change. So the things that we think that we need or that we wanted or that we need to achieve, we have to be open-minded and understanding that sometimes those things are going to have to shift and change too, okay? So this was just heavy on my heart. The spirit was like, I needed to share this with everybody when next time I got on here and let y'all know, because I've been going through it too. You know, just because I'm a spiritual person, I am not Gandhi and I'm not Jesus Christ. Like, I still have to go through human shit the same way as everybody else. I still have to pay human bills. Jesus doesn't make a commune for spiritual people to live on. We don't gotta go through human stuff or have a human experience. You know, everybody is a spiritual being having a human experience, regardless of where you are in your life. So, you know, we're going to go through the same crap that you guys go through. And honestly, those of us who get picked to be out here in the open, you know, talking about our own spiritual stuff and inspiring you guys, we go through just as much, if not more shit than everybody else, because the universe is like, you have to have empathy and understanding for where everybody else is coming through. So we got to put you through the same bullshit too. So, you know, if somebody's out here trying to act like their life is perfect, run like hell from them, because they are the fakest bee that you have ever seen in your existence. The people that can be like, yeah, I used to be a fucking mess and now I'm not because I got my shit together, those are the people that you want to actually follow. So, and last thing, guys, too, because I was just also having this conversation with a couple different, you know, female clients of mine who were going through similar things, because we were talking about, you know, having PCOS and endometriosis and fibroids and all the other crap that unfortunately as women that we got to deal with sometimes. And because of that, you know, we oftentimes have a hard time finding doctors that will take us seriously. So you always have to advocate for yourself. And if you feel like you are unable to do so, then find somebody else that's going to go with you and advocate for you too, because, you know, there's so much that gets overlooked during just regular standardized health tests, that if you know that there is still something wrong with you that isn't showing up on regular labs and things like that, then you have to be very diligent, you know, about going and doing your own research and then pushing for other tests or to see specialists or whatever the hell that you need to do, so that you can, you know, take care of yourself, because we always have to worry about ourselves. We always have to fight for ourselves. If you know that something is really off, then you need to continue to advocate for yourself and push it for you. So, whose husband are you, Illuminati? And who's flashing ass in a mirror? I'm like, what's going on in the comments? I just got confused. So, Helen, it is definitely hard out here for gangsters. You know what my spirit guides told me this morning? You are a real ass bitch because you've been through some real ass shit. And I was like, I own that. Oh, you want me to flash my ass in the mirror? Honey, you could not handle that. We're not trying to be out here giving people heart attacks this morning, okay? I have an amazing ass. Thank you to my Italian ancestors for that one, specifically my great grandma, because I have her exact body and I am exactly like her too. But because I'm exactly like her, boo, I'm a witch. I'm not a good witch, but I am good at being a witch. Don't let that go over your head. So we're gonna go ahead and let you get out of here so we can focus on the right stuff. But thanks for the follow, but you are no longer allowed to follow me. Bye-bye. Listen, it sits high, it is round, it is wide, it is juicy, okay? But yes, we shave that for my man, not for the internet. So, anyways, hey Maddie, how are you, babe? So I just wanted to give myself my flowers, you know, being that real ass bitch that's been through some real ass shit, because I predicted that both TikTok was gonna get banned, and I told y'all that Carlos and Doja were gonna be doing a collab, and so many people were like, oh my God, Doja's not gonna do that. She's a barb. And I kept telling y'all, Doja's being a shady ass bitch, and she's just trying to hold on to the barbs that she collected, but she also, you know, is teetering on that fence to see which direction am I gonna go, you know, because what is gonna help me more, basically. Because at the end of the day, all these people really care about is positioning themselves to get to number one. Don't, you know, Nikki herself has told y'all a million times that There are no friends in this industry. Everybody sees each other as competition. And so, you know, it's the same thing. And that's why I've told the Barbs a million times too. Stop being so quick to just go like support any artist because they collab with Nicki or because they say that they like Nicki, because we've seen how many people have come into this game being like, I'm a Barb, I'm a Barb, I'm a Barb. And then all of a sudden, because they think that it's going to do something for them, they're Carlos's new bestie and, you know, picking fights with Nicki and trying to make her out to be some sort of bully. So, you know, I hate to say it, but anytime one of these girls does this, I'm not surprised, because it's like a pattern. And anytime that anybody does pop out being like, I love Nicki, I'm a Barb, I'm like, okay, let's see how long this lasts. Honestly, I would rather see them do what JT did. Yeah, I used to be a fucking hater. And then I grew the fuck up and I got some damn sense and I apologized and now we can be cool, because at least that looks like it's more genuine, right? Rather than, oh, like I just switched because I switched. And again, at the end of the day too, the thing that is so annoying about these girls, why do you, just because you choose to work with somebody, why do you have to turn on somebody else? Like, we never saw, again, if we'll just use Nicki as an example, Nicki didn't go start a bunch of shit with Kanye because she worked with Drake or vice versa. Like, she doesn't get in people's, you know, beef about that. And there's J. Cole doesn't do that. Kendrick Lamar doesn't do it. They just are, this is a business. I'm gonna go make a song with this person and put it out. And it's about the artistry, and they keep it fucking moving. You don't have to sit there and be like, just because I worked with Nicki, I have to hate Carlos, or just because I worked with Carlos, now I gotta go be a hater to Nicki. But it's just like, why are you all being such flip-flop and fake-ass bitches? Like, that makes me not want to support you regardless of how much I may or might not like your music, because I don't like fake shit. And as much as people can hate on Kanye, that's why he's my favorite artist. That's why I like Tupac. That's why I like Michael Jackson. That's why I like Prince, because they just tell you what the fuck is going on and they don't play the industry bullshit, right? So let's see. I want to pull cards on Doja's mindset and just see where she is right now. And then we'll get into, you know, other questions. Well, and that's the thing. The general public is so sick of this, you guys. Like, I go on my Explore page and I'll see, you know, posts from different blogs or even just people, you know, that post stuff, whatever. And I'll open the comments to see what people are saying. And you can see that a lot of the people in the comments on some of these posts, they're not a Barb, they're not a demon cat stan or whatever the fuck anybody else's like fan base calls themselves. Like, they're just like, I loved music, especially in the 2000s when everybody could just get along with each other and everybody just wanted to party and make fun music together. Like, I don't care about who doesn't like who. Like, I'm here to listen to songs. And so they're so sick of the antics, because it's like, just drop a damn good song. You don't have to be butt naked. You don't have to start a fight with somebody. You don't have to divorce your husband. You know, like, you don't got to pull all these antics. Just put out a decent song people want to hear. How hard is that? So let's see. Spirit, please tell us what in the heck is going on with Doja Cat right now. Where is she at mentally, spiritually, emotionally when it comes to Nicki, this upcoming collab with Carlos, possibly working with Kanye. And guys, too, just, you know, keep in mind in those messages that got released, because I know Kanye was talking about how, like, Ice Spice didn't want to clear her verse or whatever now. The person who sent the song to Ice Spice and Doja was Yes Jules, not Kanye. Like if you reread the messages, and you could see he posted it that her screen name was like her, you know, who it was on the top, because they were talking about how he like got mad at her because when, I don't know if you guys remember, that live stream was going on and he was telling somebody you're exiled. Yes, Jules was the person that was streaming that, and then she cut it off and her and Kanye got in a fight and he left her behind and didn't let her get on the plane. And so that was the conversation that they were having, where she said she wanted to work with him and that she had sent the song to the contacts that she had in each girl's camp, and him just basically saying like, yeah, we need to talk, cool, whatever. So I'm not saying like he was against it. I'm just saying she's the one that sent the songs, and then there was a bunch of people on the Yay pages saying that I guess Jess Jules is like friends or connected to people in Doja's team somehow. So, and then they were talking about that she was trying to start shit with or take advantage or something like that, or get in the middle of Doja, Kanye, and Nicki. So, dude, yes, Jules, I'm just like, girl, please just go back to being the mistress of NBA players and stay away from everybody else. Because if y'all see the drama and the shenanigans that she pulled when she was around Kanye's team, and the shit that she did with the fan pages and getting them in fights with Kanye, and it was a disaster. And now apparently they're gonna sue her for millions of dollars. I hope to God that they do sue her, to be honest with you, just because she deserves it. So anyways, I always thought she was like a culture vulture. Well, my whole thing is, I don't understand how anybody is going to top Nicki's verse on that song, because even if, like, let's just be dead ass honest, guys, right? We get to a point where there's like a memory, nostalgia, like identity that, you know, a song takes on, to where even if Doja was to come in, we'll just use her as an example since we're talking about her. Even if she was able to come in and put out the best verse that anybody in life had ever created for any song, people would still be like, I want Nicki's version instead. We liked Nicki's version. That's the version that we wanted. That's the version that we were used to. Like, they're not gonna accept it the same way, right? And on top of it, to me, because I said this in Patreon, it was like, if you're gonna pick somebody other than Nicki to put on that song, JT would be the perfect person for that. Because the song is about your new body after you had it done because you got surgery, right? And JT's open about being a surgery doll. She just freaking talked about it in Sideways. Whereas Ice Spice hasn't had anything done. Doja gets mad at people and claims that she did it and went off on a blogger for pointing out her lipo scars. So why would you pick the two girls who are natural and claim to be natural to be on a song about surgery? And then I saw people were saying that Megan should do it. And I'm like, didn't Megan just claim that she didn't get lipo after parties and said that she did? Like, pick out somebody that is open about that they got their body done, and JT or even Carisha would make more sense in that matter to have them on there, because you're supposed to be rapping about that, right? So just saying, it just didn't even make sense. Nicki's verse is iconic. He should have just apologized to her. I mean, listen, my opinion on this is that both Kanye and Nicki didn't go about this in the right way, and I honestly just feel like at this point, just leave the song alone. Either just fucking like release it without her verse or leave it alone. So he should just release it without Nicki or anyone else on it. You know what also would make sense? You don't need to have a girl rap verse on it. Put Summer Walker on it. Have her sing with Ty Dolla $ign and turn that verse into another, you know, singing verse, and give a different girl an opportunity. because any rap that you put on it isn't gonna fucking make sense if you think about it, because again, everybody's gonna want Nicki's version. So just change the song completely if you're gonna still want to put it out, and then just have a girl sing on it instead, and you can actually harmonize her and Ty Dolla Sign's vocals, and it would probably be really good. And I think Summer Walker would be somebody that would also be good for that. Or, you know, not Money Long, because she's not a surgery girl, but we all know that Summer is, because again, if the song is about having a new body from surgery, then you got to pick a girl that's done that, not just some random girl. Oh, I'm just saying, I don't want Carisha on any song, but what I am saying is, just to go off of the vibe of the song and who you're gonna pick, she would make more sense than girls who claim to be natural. That's all. But, you know, either completely switch it up or leave it alone. So, robot on the song since she got a new body. Well, listen, we all know that him and Jay-Z don't like each other anymore, so I don't think that's happening. So, no, I haven't. But I was just saying, she's not one of those girls that's open about, I got my body done, is the point. You know, the girls that own it, that's what would make more sense. Not putting somebody that doesn't, you know, isn't out here claiming what they've had done. So, alrighty, let's see. Doja is still in her self-sabotage era too, you guys. So there is that. Like, she is nowhere near done with the self-hate and the anger and all of that stuff. It is starting to manifest itself in a different way though, because remember, when the last reading that I had done on her mental state, where she was in the self-sabotage era, she was, you know, taking it out on the fans, right? And it was like, oh, well, because you guys want me to be popular, that's why I have to do all these rituals to be popular. And she was conflating that and getting upset with us, you know, for supporting her. So most of us were like, well, then no problem, girl, we won't. Have fun with Satan by yourself. So now it has kind of like shifted, and it is starting to manifest itself in a different way, where she feels like, I'm gonna be the villain then. Y'all wanted to paint me as the villain, then I'm gonna be the damn villain. And I know you're gonna have a problem with this, and fuck you, because I'm gonna do what I want. And she's now in that I'm gonna go do what I want, you know, era, and prove everybody wrong and shit in your face and ha 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 ha, be the bad guy. So because of that, she's definitely gonna go ahead and do this collaboration with Carlos. The Queen of Wands is showing up. I know they're both air signs, but Spirit is saying to, you know, since we're reading Doja, to then read the person that shows up as Carlos, the other air sign that's coming into this. I feel like for her, the bag was big, is what Spirit is saying. And as much as we may think, oh, well, Doja, blah, 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 whatever, Spirit saying she is in a very messed up contract situation herself, where she is not making a whole lot of money off of the music that she puts out under her own self. Like, she's one, you know, a lot of artists have talked about this, that they get more money as a writer or to go be a feature on somebody else's song than they will make off of their own, because they have to wait, you know, when it's their own song to get the payout from the streams and all of that and everything, versus when you're going to go feature on somebody's song, they got to pay you up front. So you're guaranteed, okay, I'm going to make a certain amount regardless of how well the song does or doesn't do. So Spirit's talking about that Doja's actually been very, very worried and fearful about her financial situation. And so this was more financially motivated for her to like do this collaboration, or any of the collaborations that we will see her doing coming up, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of Doja Cat features. Carlos is not the only one. And some of them will make sense, and some of them will be like, why is Doja on that song? And Spirit is saying we're going to see Doja on her money run, basically. Like, the girl is worried and she's trying to make as much as she possibly can. I know she just had this big tour, but Spirit's saying there's something about the way that her contract works out that she cannot depend on touring to make up for what she's not making otherwise, the same way that some artists can, because it's like, there's so many layers of people that have their money or their hands in her pocket. Every check that she gets, it's like Dr. Luke gets a cut, the label gets a cut, some other label that nobody knows about or has ever heard of that somehow has some ownership in her gets a portion. And so by the time that, you know, she gets $1 million check, by the time that Doja gets her part, she gets $5,000 if she's lucky. And she's not going to talk about this. If you guys haven't noticed, she has been very quiet about her connections to Dr. Luke and all of that kind of stuff. But that is honestly what Spirit's saying is one of the driving factors that made her sell her soul, and that has made her angry that she sold her soul, because she thought it was going to get her out from under him, and instead it didn't. And now she owes more people and has more people that she has to listen to. So she's not, you know, making what we think that she's making, but she's not going to come out and say this because Spirit thinks she's scared to sell that side of things. And she's hoping that she's going to get to a place where then, you know, contracts eventually do run out, and then she'll have more negotiating power to be like, hey, you want to sign me? I need ownership. I need creative control. Like, she thinks I just have to put up with this right now and then work my ass off and prove myself, and then I can get to a point where I can tell people no. And she doesn't realize that if that was possible, then Beyonce wouldn't be putting out a country album right now. Because if anybody supposedly worked hard enough to have some control over themselves, it should be her, right? But yet she doesn't. So that's, you know, kind of like where Doja is with the anger and all of that, and wanting to kind of just own shit and turn it around and be like, screw you guys, and doing what I want now. You guys, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a Doja in future collaboration. I don't know why I just started hearing his voice when I saw this King of Coins. And it's talking about somebody else that she's gonna work with, that will be a collaboration that people actually like. Because whatever she's doing with Carlos, it's not gonna go well. Like, I feel it's gonna be another Bozos, you know, where it's like they make such a big deal about, oh my God, look it, we're gonna put out this big song and video and spend all this money on all of this and promote the hell out of it, and think that because it's two people, you know, that are apparently so interesting to other people, that it's gonna pop off. And it's like, it doesn't really do anything. You know who Spirit is saying that if Carlos actually really wanted to like have something blow up for her, that who she should work with? Lil Nas X. I don't know why, but Spirit is saying that that is something that people would actually somewhat be interested in, and everybody would be tuning into it. And he has an audience that would actually benefit her, because so many of Doja's fans are barbs. They're not going to support this, and that's where she's, you know, going to screw herself up. So, well, exactly, Mimi. I mean, this is the thing. You can't do deals with Satan and then be all Pikachu shocked when something fucking doesn't work out, or you don't get what you thought you were going to. Like, it's Satan. Have you never read any part of the Bible? Like, we all know that the biggest thing that they say is the devil is a liar and he'll never give you what he actually promises you. Oh, how cute. Isn't that so cute when somebody gets mad that they get blocked so they go sign into their other account and come back and try to insult you? You know, I just love when guys get mad because a girl doesn't want to, you know, entertain their bullshit, and then all of a sudden you're a whore, you're old, you're this, you're that. I'm like, but I wasn't when you wanted to fuck me. I wasn't when you wanted my number. I wasn't when you wanted me to stand up and shake my ass in the mirror, right? But now I am. Like, obviously, you is a bitter. You need to heal. Hopefully your mommy can, you know, help you heal that little wound that she created in you, and then you can overcome your hatred towards women. But I'm not your mom, and I'm not responsible for the rejection that you felt from her as a child. And while I used to be a mental health professional, I no longer am, so I suggest you get a therapist. So, anyways, let's move on. So let's see what Spirit has to say about how this collaboration is gonna go. And also, guys, let me tell you something, because I know, you know, people are wondering like what's going on with Carlos's supposed album release and everything. I did a reading on it the other day just out of curiosity, like when I had 5 minutes in between clients, because I didn't have time to record it, but I was just like, I want to see what's going on because I'm nosy anyways. So anyways, this is what Spirit had to say about Carlos and Atlantic's relationship. Is basically, it's on, like, I'm trying to think of how you say it. They're in a space where there's been like a little bit of renegotiations, and she's not guaranteed that she's gonna get to drop this album, you guys. We are giving you a very small budget, and we will give you a little bit of radio support, but we need to see that these songs that you drop actually get some traction and people are actually responding to it, because they still have not recouped off of her. So why would they dump a whole bunch more money into another era, especially when in the history of time going back, most people's sophomore albums, especially if they had some huge debut, like doesn't do all of that well. And that's okay, because then they usually do pull themselves up by the third album, right? Not everybody, but the people who are real artists, they're gonna have some longevity, usually do. And you know, so it's like, but if you're not making anything, girl, they ain't gonna let you release it. So they're just doing what I told you guys that they've been doing with her this whole time. You know, it's like testing the waters singles. Let's see if you put out a song that sounds like this, if they like it better. And then we can start marketing you to more of a Latin community. Or if they like this, then we'll push you more in the pop music or more towards drill or whatever they feel like, you know, they can shove her into. But they're just testing the market. They're just seeing if she's even anybody that they can, you know, still hang their hat on. No decisions have been made yet. She does not have a date to release it because of that. Because if she did, remember last year when she said it was going to be released before the end of the year, then it was going to be the first album that was going to drop out of everybody's albums at the beginning of the year. I was like, girl, really? 6 years? It's been 6.5 years. At this point, we should say it's been 84 years. But it's like, we've been hearing that this freaking album is going to come out in a few months for years now. And you want to know what the funniest part about it, though, is? Even if she did drop this album at the end of the year, all of the songs that are gonna be on it are gonna be old ass songs from every other time that she promised us that she was gonna drop this album. Because that's the thing that y'all don't realize. Atlantic isn't letting her have any money to pay new songwriters, to create new songs, to record new songs. Anytime that you see her in the studio, you guys, when she's trying to be like, I'm recording something, it's either that she's recording a feature for some other up and coming artist whose, you know, clout she wants to ride, or she's updating the songs that she has already previously recorded, meaning, you know, if it was a song that she originally recorded in 2017 and it has some lingo in it that nobody says anymore, and you know, and if we listen to it, we're gonna know, oh, she made that song years ago, that's so dated. So it's like we have to change these words because nobody says that anymore, or it's gonna sound too old, or we got to update the reference to something more current. But she's not recording all new songs, she's just relaying old verses. She's gonna release a greatest hits album with only 3 songs on it. I'm telling you guys, Atlantic and Warner Brothers are supposed to be being bought out by, I think it's NBC Universal or New Line Cinema or one of those. And, you know, ask Dario, anytime that companies get bought out, that's when they go through and they start restructuring and getting rid of people who aren't bringing in money. So even if Atlantic doesn't drop her, whoever buys them probably will. So let's see what Spirit has to say about how this is going to end up turning out for them. Oh, I know. More merging means more firing. Exactly. Exactly. Because these studios, whether it's TV studios or music studios, they're all, you know, suffering. And I told people too, when Scooter Braun was running around buying up all of those smaller labels, that also should have told you something, that they're all going to start conglomerating into. We're going to see, it's not just going to be Atlantic, guys. We're going to see a lot of these different studios like end up under like one umbrella together or merging and becoming one unit, because there's not really, like, if there's not a bunch of money to be made in music, why do you need to have 100 different music labels, right? So you guys think that when Scooter Braun buys Big Machine Records and QC the label and, you know, these other ones, that he's going to keep them all separate? No, he's already gone through and sold off people's catalogs to, you know, different corporations like Disney. And I guarantee you he's going to create one big label or like umbrella, or he'll sell them to like a Sony or a Columbia or something like that. And then whoever still is on those labels will end up, you know, it won't be, oh, I'm signed to QC or I'm signed to Big Machine. It'll be whatever the umbrella company is that, you know, is the real head of it or whatever. So we're going to see a lot of this coming up. It's not just them. It's that Atlantic is probably like the most on the verge of being the next one that it'll happen with, or at least one of the bigger names that will come up. But it's because they're owned by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers, the whole head is like financially in trouble from the movie side, the TV side, and the music side. Warner Brothers just as a company is struggling right now. So Christmas in July is right around the corner. Oh my God. Could you guys imagine if Carlos releases a Christmas album to fulfill her contract? Because that's what older artists used to do. They used to put out greatest hits albums and Christmas albums, because it's like, you know, I do have a whole work of art, like just waiting in my files, but I don't want to give it to Sony because my contract, you know, ends after my next album. And I want to, release that on a different label, or at least use that, to maybe negotiate a better deal for myself. So it's like, you're getting a Christmas album, you're getting a greatest hits album with a couple new extra songs that I just made up on the spot. Like, and you imagine Carlos on a Christmas album. Hey, yo, Santa. Talking about leaving Birkin bags under the tree that she's going to slide down his pole. Wait, didn't Erica Banks put out a bunch of Christmas songs? Every time I hear Erica Banks, I always hear Erica can't because Erica stink. Poor Erica Banks. Like, she actually is talented. I feel so bad for her that she just got pushed as like a Megan Thee Stallion part 2, because I feel like Erica like has way more talent than Megan, because I have heard Erica at least switch her flow up. I have never heard Megan ever switch her flow. So I will give Erica that. And she actually has bars, and she can talk about more than just like, hands on your knees, shaking your ass kind of stuff. Could she just become a stripper again? She is showing us her boobs any chance she gets. Carlos should have gone on tour with Bruno Mars. Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, did you guys see that promo pictures that they released for whatever the fuck that song is that nobody cares about or is going to listen to, that she just put out? That she was in. I mean, I was trying to figure out, like, what is the purpose of this look? Because they put stuff all over her face to make it look like she had all these piercings. And then she was, in that ripped up net body stocking that had all the jewelry on it, but it was see-through, and she had to cover her cooter and her her nipples. And I was like, girl, so you just straight up like went in the archives and pulled out 1-year-old stripper costumes? Is the budget that low? And secondly, I mean, you know what it made me think? I was like, I wonder if Star Marie is looking at this and being like, that's where my damn outfit that she borrowed that I never got back went. Now she attached a bunch of damn earrings to it. She can keep it. But you're like, that's how low you have to go, that you have to be butt ass naked to promote a song because nobody cares about it, and also look like freaking, oh my God, what was that guy? He was like a scary movie type of a character that was really popular in the 80s and the 90s, that had like all of the spikes like sticking out of his head and his face. I can't remember his name, but that's what it reminded me of. They no longer can afford clothes. I mean, really, like, you couldn't even go in your own damn closet and find a damn dress that you could have worn. Instead of that, like, that's how low the budget is. Like, come on. But the whole thing was just so weird, because I was like, are you promoting being a stripper again, or are you actually trying to be a rapper? Because if you guys haven't noticed, there's been a real clear, like, agenda to try to... Pinhead! That was the name, Kaylin. I could not think of it. That's what she freaking reminded me of, Pinhead. And I was like, how does Pinhead fit into this? But... it's just, they're trying to make her out like she's some actual lyricist and that she's a real rapper now. And I'm like, girl, the reason why nobody thinks of you as a real artist and a rapper is because you yourself said that you didn't give a shit about being a real rapper or writing your own music, that you just made music because it was fun and it made you famous and rich. And now you get mad when we use your words against you. And we aren't buying it. And that's the thing that I'm like, if you're trying to establish yourself as like, oh yeah, I can write and I am a rapper and I do care about this, why are you dressed up like Pinhead the stripper in your freaking promo? Because that does not make us want to listen to you or take you seriously. It does not scream, oh, I'm a real artist, take me serious. Like, if she would have showed up in some baggy jeans and a fucking t-shirt, then maybe I would have been like, oh, okay, Carlos means it this time, but not in this. So, well, here's what the cards and spirit are saying is going to be the outcome of this collaboration. And spirit is saying as to read it for both people not getting what they hoped for in this collaboration and the backlash being too much. But when they're doing it, oh, they think that they got this shit on lock. They think, oh, we did something. This song is amazing. We're going to break the internet. Everybody's going to love us. And Spirit saying Mucus and Carlos, you know, had the same energy when they were putting out bozos, thinking that it was going to do something. So maybe Carlos needs to not listen to her intuition because it doesn't seem to steer her right. And Doja, you should be paying attention to that too. Also, this is funny too. Somebody's gonna tell Doja that Carlos was talking mad shit about her. I know that we already got that little snippet where she said that somebody got mad at her because she was just goofing off and they thought that she was like mocking them or something like that. And then, you know, because this collaboration, it's going to be a whole thing about, oh, look it, we patched it up, girl power, yay, you know. But what Spirit's saying is the same way that, remember, Nikki, you know, exposed that Megan was calling Carlos like a dirty little Mexican boy or whatever the fuck she was calling her. It's going to be something very similar because I feel this guy, and it may be Jay-Z or somebody connected to him, because for some reason when we do music readings, Jay-Z always shows up as the emperor. But there's something coming up about, you know, Doja finding out that Carlos has been talking shit about her for years and didn't stop, even though they worked together and she was on set smiling in her face. So then she's going to take a major step back from Carlos. So it's just like, girl, like, the bullshit. Oh my God, the bullshit. Because like right now I have to pretend and smile in the public's face and act like I like this bitch because we have a song to sell and I fucking hate her and I wish I'd never worked with her and what did I get myself into? So that's the thing, Sherry. They both are shit talkers. Same thing with Megan. You think that Carlos isn't running around talking shit about her too? Like, yeah, you called her a dirty Mexican boy, but I'm sure Carlos has been calling you a bunch of shit too. Like, you know, it's just we heard what Megan said. We didn't hear what Carlos said. Like, these girls are not each other's friends. They all shit talk each other, and then they all think that they got to go link up against Nikki because she's some, you know, powerful being, which again, if Nikki is this most powerful being that can bully people and stop bags and all of this, then how come she can't win a Grammy? How come she doesn't get #1s with every single that she drops? Like, if you're that powerful that you can do that shit, then you are a Carter. And look at how nobody wanted to listen to that damn country song and it still ended up on the top of the charts, right? So it's like, Nicki's not Beyonce the way that people try to make it out to be. But these girls play on that perception, you know? And this is the thing too. Like, why... I mean, Spirit done told us that the general public was sick of the shenanigans. That this hate train, let's all gang up together stuff wasn't going to work. going forwards anymore. And it's like they're all late and they're all behind and they're all trying to do the same shit. Because look at, I mean, how come nobody looks at the fact that, yes, while that may have worked for Carlos in 2017 and 2018, after that, it no longer worked for her. And it certainly has not 6-7 years later. She's trying to catch up to even be where she used to be. And look at Lotto, that blew up in her face. Coi Leray, like, why are you making the same mistakes that other people made and you saw it failed? Like, that's the crazy thing to me. It's like running into a wall over and over again, and you're watching other people run into that wall and get concussions, and you think that you're not going to get a concussion too? Like, run somewhere else, for God's sakes. So she's still stuck in the past because of her hype at that time. Well, yeah, I mean, but this is what she gets because she wanted to be lazy, because she thought that the opportunities that were being given to her at that time were going to be there forever, so she didn't have to jump on them. And that is, you know, whether you like Ice Spice or Sexy Red or not, at least these girls understand that this is my moment and I have to get the fuck out there and take advantage of it, because if I don't, that moment may not be there when I decide to get off my butt and want it. I mean, same thing. Look at, and you want to compare, look at Sexy Red versus Carlos. She just had a baby. That girl was twerking on stage up until the day before she gave birth. Then she was twerking in the hospital room, posting pictures. She's out there with those boobies full of milk out on the damn stage doing it because she knows that if she sits down right now, regardless of if she had a baby or not, even though, you know, as a mom, I'm like, girl, please sit down and feed that baby and bond with it, because you'll never get this moment back. But on the same side of that, I also understand you're a mom and you have kids to feed and you know that you're never gonna get this moment back. So maybe you do have to sacrifice that time with your kids now so that you can make sure that they're good forever. And so Carlos didn't have that mindset, right? It's like, girl, and she had more time to get back to work than Sexy. She was gonna have like 5 months before she had to go on that tour with Bruno Mars. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're not my favorite. I mean, I'll listen to Princess Diana and Barbie World, but am I gonna go listen to Deli and Munch and any of the other songs that she's put out? No. But you know, I respect that she has stayed on her grind and done what she needs to do. So, and also guys too, let me just say this, you know, before we move on to the TikTok stuff. Ice Spice did not go behind Nicki's back to put out New Body with Ye. Spirit is saying that she thought that it was just her verse was going to be added because she didn't know that Nicki wasn't going to be on the song. And she talked to her and everything was cool, you know, and then it was just Nicki didn't tell her that she wasn't going to clear her part because Nicki felt like that wasn't, you know, anybody else's business. So then obviously Ice Spice and her team felt like we don't want to do that anymore. Nicki did not make her do that. You guys do not understand that Ice Spice is a part of Taylor Swift's little coven now. So if she pulled her support, I guarantee you it was because of Taylor and not Nicki. So it's, you know, they're not, Ice was not doing anything to be shady to Nicki. You don't have to like turn on her, you know, for that. And I don't really care about Ice Spice either way. like, you know, I've said, but I admire that, you know, she's out here working. So, alrighty. So, did you guys have any questions about this? And then we'll move on to TikTok. Put question in front of it. And I meant questions about Cardi B and Doja's collab. And of course, you know, as per usual, off cheats in the background, hyping the fuck up out of Carlos. And pushing her to do shady shit. Which, again, Carlos also, your husband is on a high school cafeteria tour. Obviously, he's not somebody that you need to be taking advice from anymore. Hey, Soul. Hey, Lindsay. I'm glad you guys were able to make it. And hey to everybody else that I didn't get to say hi to. And happy belated birthday, Kia. I hope you had a good one. I really think that he is her biggest op. I think that Offcheat has been extremely jealous of her because he wanted to be the Beyonce of the group. And she was getting more attention than him. And even though he's the far better artist in that relationship, because at the end of the day, as much as I don't like Offcheat and I don't like his music, at least I can say that he can write a verse and he can rap and he can stay on beat sometimes. It's just not my preference of music, right? But, you know, he was, at the end of the day, Carlos still gets more attention than him, right? And I think that that really bothers him. So, we're not answering those types of questions, Sherry. I said to keep it to Doja and Carlos. And anything Nikki related, we only talk about over on Patreon right now because obviously all these motherfuckers are watching and plotting on her, and trust and believe Nikki has more that we have not even seen yet that we'll talk about on this week's Patreon live on Saturday. Because we're not helping these mofos. I know we saw that Megan's tour was going up with Glorilla, and I was just like, are y'all gonna go to the Little Caesars Arena to see that? It's okay, Lindsay. You have a good one, babe. Oh, because I'm not. So, all right, guys, you guys are just asking questions about other stuff. So let's move on to TikTok. And by the way, too, guys, I just want to make this dead ass clear because I've said this several times in both all my platforms, but people always, you know, I guess forget or knew or just don't care to respect boundaries. I am not, I will not, and I never will do any type of reading on any of the child abuse that takes place in Hollywood, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. I am not talking about Dan Schneider and that whole situation. I am very open about the fact that I am a childhood abuse survivor myself and I have complex PTSD because of it. So Bella needs to have her mental health intact so I can do everything else I need to do so we don't do things like that because it's triggering to me. So please stop asking. Don't send me messages asking me about it because after this, because this is the last time I'm going to say it, and this goes for Patreon too, I'm not talking about it over there, you will be considered somebody that is spiritually attacking me and doing it on purpose after that point, and then I will be justified to do whatever I need to do to protect myself from you. End of story. So, moving on, TikTok. So, I will just keep this part brief, and after that, you know, you got to go to Patreon for the rest. There is a real agenda to shut everybody the fuck up and to control the narrative, whether that is about pandemics, governments, the elites, the Satanists ruling the world, the Freemasons, all of that kind of stuff, right? And if you haven't, seen, because I know every single content creator, myself included, is constantly complaining about how, either certain people can't talk about certain things and then the rest of us get punished for it, or we can't talk about certain things that don't seem like they should be that big of a deal, because there's all this censorship constantly going on all of these platforms. And we were talking about in Patreon last week how even like if you want to go find, say, Wendy Williams episodes, right? And you even just go to Google, it won't bring much up. But then if you go and you use a different search engine like DuckDuckGo or Bing, all of a sudden, not only are you being given all of these Wendy Williams episodes that you can watch, but they will also be Wendy Williams episodes that are available on YouTube, which is a Google-owned platform. But when you Google it, Google won't tell you that their own platform has that available for you to watch. And they are really trying to keep us from knowing certain things. So this is where it becomes sort of, everything in life is a double-edged sword anyways. There's always good and bad in every situation. Obviously, when it comes to a platform that is not American owned, like TikTok, they, meaning the American government, can then, not control what is being shared on that, and they have to depend on the Asian owners to decide what they're going to allow and not allow on their platforms. This is nothing to do with, oh my God, we're so concerned about the data breaches and all of that shit, because guess what? You didn't give a fuck about it when it came to Facebook and Instagram or Twitter or YouTube or any of these other platforms, because do you think that they're not selling our data or allowing government agencies to spy on us? Of course they are. They're not doing anything differently. It's just that they're mad because the CCP can watch us instead of the American government when it's on TikTok. And they can't control what the CCP is going to censor or not censor on their platforms. And yes, TikTok has good stuff about it, and it has bad stuff because, of course, now the CCP has all of your information and they are using it to gather evidence on us and what are Americans into and using it to negatively influence us and all of that. But so does every other fucking platform too. So this is really about control, because if you now see who is trying to put together a group of investors so that they can offer to buy TikTok. I call him Munch. But what is his name? Steve Mucinex, the Munch, as I call him. Because if I don't care about you and I have no respect for you, I ain't even going to be bothered to try to learn how to pronounce your name properly anyways. And if you know me, you also know that, or you've ever had a reading with me, I'm always like, how do you pronounce your name? Even if your name on the appointment says Susan, I will still make sure that you do not pronounce it Shushin or something else, because I hate having my name mispronounced my entire life as an Italian kid with 100 vowels in my last name. But if I don't like you, then I don't fucking care. So I call him Steve Munch or Steve Mucinex the Munch. He's trying to gather up a group of investors, and somehow, some way, I guarantee you Nancy Pelosi will be one of those people, because we know Nancy Pelosi loves her investments in her stock market. I feel like FB would definitely try to buy it. Snapchat, I don't really get that they're in a position that they can or would anyways. But I could see Mark Zuckerberg trying to get it, but I don't feel that happening. You know who would have more of, who I would be more like concerned about when it comes to those like billionaires that have entered the tech space or in it that would buy it? I would be more Jeff Bezos. Because Jeff Bezos, if you guys don't know, is actually the most threatened by TikTok because of the TikTok shop. And because a lot of people were, you know, moving on and saying, like, hey, Amazon fucking sucks if you're a seller, because either then Amazon itself will copy your products and start selling them under their own brand and suppressing your, you know, items in the search result in order to try to force people to buy whatever you were selling through Amazon itself, or whatever, you know, where the profit margins are lower. And so a lot of people were saying that they were making better money as sellers on TikTok shop, and that it was an easier and smoother experience overall. And so he was very threatened by it. And if you guys see, Zuckerberg has been trying to get rid of TikTok for years now, and it didn't work. It's once Jeff Bezos started bribing people, because listen, we tell ghost stories and outright lies over here for entertainment purposes only, because we're not trying to get sued, but y'all be knowing that I'm a real ass bitch that's been some real ass shit that will tell some real ass truths over here. So now that we covered our asses, Jeff Bezos started bribing people, and that's where they decided, you know what? He's right. Let's do something about this. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, even if he doesn't initially buy it, if there isn't some deal later on that all of a sudden now Amazon and TikTok are partners, and Amazon is going to run the shop part of it, or that they're gonna, you know, band together and create original content that's gonna stream on Amazon and TikTok or something like that. So no, that rebrand literally works so well. You're right, Mimi, because I forget all the time that it used to be Musically, and I never even went on Musically because, like Brianna said, it seemed like a kid app, you know, and that's what I thought it was, like just a bunch of little kids that got on there and like sang songs together and danced around. And that's what I thought TikTok was, like when it made its resurgence, like it was a combination of Musically and Vine. So we wear tinfoil hats, y'all. There is nothing to see. We are bored playing with pictures like that desperate man from earlier. That's exactly what it is, Sana. You know what? Next week, I'm going to wear a tinfoil hat when I come on live. I need that reminded me because foil is also on my shopping list. So, anyways, so what questions do y'all have about this? Because it's gonna get bought and they're gonna end up spinning it off to where, you know, completely like TikTok and Chinese TikTok are like two completely separate entities, 100%, you know. But I do feel like the guy is gonna end up, you know, selling it, and we'll see a group of investors. Also, you guys, do not be surprised if we also don't see Kim Kardashian becoming a part ownership of it too, because remember that she put together like some venture capitalist group that they were going to make investments. And I always felt like, you know, her putting her and North on TikTok was more than just, I'm trying to capitalize off of North's popularity and off of, you know, a newer social media app, but that she was hoping for even more of a business deal down the road, even if it was like North is like an official TikTok ambassador or something. So I definitely feel like, you know, it's gonna be bought. It's gonna, you know, we're gonna see a lot of celebrities decide that they want to be investors into it too. And it'll be for some record breaking amount, like $300 billion, the biggest sale ever, you know, and they'll make a big old issue out of it and everything. But let me tell you guys, it will definitely end up just like every other fucking platform with the censorship and the bullshit. Even if they swear to God it's not going to do that in the beginning, they're going to start using the excuse of there's bullying going on, there's racism, oh, kids are just able to get access to all kinds of things, because they always love to pretend they, as in the government, as in the elites, as in the Freemasons and the Satanists that rule this world, they like to pretend like they are doing something to protect us in order to strip us of more of our rights. And so, you know, hello, quarantine, if you needed bigger proof of that, when it turns out that now, what is it? Just treat it like it's the flu. So, same shit, you know, they're gonna sit there and act like, oh my God, this is gonna be so amazing for you guys. And then it's just gonna end up being just as restrictive and full of shit as Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, any other social media platform. So if you're not on TikTok and you were like, oh, I didn't want to give the Chinese my info, like me, don't think that all of a sudden it's going to be a safe space for you to go once it's sold. Like, if you ain't on it for reasons, stay the fuck off of it for those same damn reasons going forward. So, oh, Robot will totally be on there. And guys, then watch all of a sudden the music be allowed to be back on there again too. Because they were saying that TikTok didn't want to pay, you know, whatever it was for, you know, they didn't want to pay properly to stream like certain songs on the platform and stuff. So you already know, because TikTok has been such a boost and a help to a lot of these people, because let's be that ass honest, like if Coi Leray hadn't had TikTok, would any of her songs ever blown up? Because people were not fucking with them on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels like that, or Snapchat, or Facebook, whatever Facebook has, because I left Facebook a long ass time ago, so I don't even know what you can and can't do over there anymore. I got kicked off for telling somebody I was sending a demon after them. And that was like the 5th time that I got kicked off of there, so I got lifetime banned. And I'm proud of it. So, anyway. It'll be like Tidal, you know, or whatever. But the thing is that, you know, they're gonna want to go make those deals again, because labels, when they do have the Coi Lerays and the, you know, the Lottos and the Glorillas on their label, the last thing that they want is to lose the support of TikTok, because, you know, TikTok had its own freaking little chart thing that they'd be like, oh my God, it's #1 on the TikTok charts this week, you guys. And like, but the song would be like number 75 on Billboard. So that also, you know, the same way that we've talked about how they will make up these bullshit ass awards like the Dove Soap Woman of the Year award and give it away in a nursing home just so that Lotto can be like, I got an award, I'm the Woman of the Year, you guys. And then they have this other new bullshit thing that they could be like, I'm #1 on the TikTok charts, even though you're nowhere on the Billboard charts. But you also probably wouldn't get even on the Billboard charts to 99 if TikTok hadn't blew you up. So they're suffering without it. So we'll see that people are going to do that. But no, there will not, Sophia. What we're going to have to do, there is never, you know, and I'm going to end the questions now, guys, because I got to wrap it up, because I wanted to make sure that I could be live with you guys this week. So since I had to wait for, because I I could watch things on YouTube, but there was no option for me to upload anything on any of my channels for some reason. I couldn't go live, and I couldn't do it through StreamYard. StreamYard wouldn't connect to it, so they had to do something. But so I had to, you know, shove this in. So obviously I had to fit you guys in the morning in between my clients. So I gotta start wrapping it up so I can get to my clients, but we will be back next week. I'm not saying when. From now on, I will never tell you guys on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday we're gonna do anything. Because every freaking time I do, then all of a sudden the universe is like, you know what you need? Strep throat. You were fine yesterday, and tomorrow you're gonna wake up feeling like you swallowed razor blades and dying to get into urgent care to get some antibiotics. So we're just not announcing anything until it happens now. But unfortunately, there's never gonna be some app even coming out of Iraq or Afghanistan or some third world country that that wouldn't have to worry about the United States government coming after them. There is never going to be somebody that's going to come along and, be like, I created this uncensored app and everybody's going to be able to use it. But what you can do is create your own app, create your own platforms, create your own space where you can be uncensored. Patreon is, one of those spaces that you can do that in for the time being, but I also wouldn't be surprised if at some point, Instagram or YouTube doesn't buy out Patreon and then all of a sudden, we're I'm like, okay, guys. But for now, it's the safe space for all of us, for now. But again, like I said, you never know. But it's just, there's a real agenda to stop people from having those spaces where we can inform one another and we can do stuff, because I know that people were, I guess saying that Rumble was one of those types of places. I've honestly, I just was talking to Dario about this, that I've never even gone on the Rumble site, so I don't even know what it does or doesn't do or whatever. But I've heard from other creators that it is not the same that it was when it first came out, that it's now starting to be more like Facebook as far as rules and regulations, especially for people that want to sign up as a newer person, and wasn't there from the beginning. So I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised, because I know I've heard that about a lot of things, And see, this is the thing that also sucks, though, is because when you do have a completely uncensored platform, while that is good for the people that have good intentions, of course, then, CP gets passed around on those types of places, or it is used for nefarious reasons. And so it's there has to be some sort of safeguards on a platform so that people can't use them to hurt other people. But there also has to be that, dividing line where it's we keep people safe, but we don't go so overboard that we infringe on everybody's rights too. And I'm sure that that's really hard as a business to figure out how you're going to do that. But, it's just, they'll always use that as the excuse too. Well, we have to make sure that this doesn't happen, and then take everybody else's rights away. So it sucks. You add title for the perks too. I won 2 tickets for Kanye Yeezy season 3 fashion show in New York. Oh my God. Damn, I would have loved that. You know what's funny is that every phone service or internet service that I've had for since Tidal came out has always offered me, you get a free Tidal subscription with, or you bought a new iPhone, so you get a year of Tidal, or you are an AT&T customer, so you get Tidal and then you also get HBO Max or some shit like that. I have never used Tidal. Like, I've always had it available to me for free since it dropped, and I have never used it. Because when it came out, I had a Pandora account and then a Spotify one, and I had everything because that was when I used to work at child support. And I used to have to sit at a desk and just scan documents all day and do data entry. Like, I didn't deal with like the public. So like I could just sit there and listen to podcasts and music all day on my headphones since I didn't have to talk to anybody. So I had my Spotify like all like to my algorithm. It was set up to all the songs I liked, the podcasts, the comedy channels that I would listen to, the books on tape. Like, I was like, I don't even want to like try to figure out how to use Tidal and then have to set all that shit up. And now I just feel like, oh, who cares? Listen, I gotta, start wrapping things up, but I will leave you with this, okay? Whether it is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any social media platform, stop getting on there and telling everybody all your damn business. For your own protection, not just your physical protection, but for your spiritual protection. Everybody does not need to have access to you, and everybody does not need to know your traumas, your secrets, your dreams, your goals, everything that you've ever gone through in life and where you want to go going forwards. Stop it. That is the best way that they can help you spiritually, your ancestors, and that you can help yourself, is to keep your fucking mouth shut and keep your shit to yourself. That's why I tell you guys, don't get readings on live. I don't care if it's your favorite psychic and it's $2 or it's free. Don't fucking do that. Why? You have to open yourself up to let somebody read you, babe. So you're sitting there opening yourself up, even if it's just a general reading and you're under a fake account. You are spiritually open for anybody that's in that chat that wants to send negativity to anybody that's open to receive that. Readings and therapy need to be a quiet thing between you and the person that you're getting it from. If you wouldn't go on YouTube Live and get a therapy session about how your dad used to come in your room and beat you at night, then you don't need a psychic reading about if your boyfriend's cheating on you publicly. It has to be in a private setting, and you have to protect yourself. And why do you want a bunch of people on the internet to know who you are? And on top of it, don't trust that just because you're on a VPN or you're on a username that somebody wouldn't know who you are anyways. Look at how many people have gotten doxxed by stans because they just said, that song sucks, or I thought her dress was ugly. And the next thing you know, like, they're on Twitter with their whole lives being exposed. So you don't know, you can't trust that somebody's not going to see you getting a reading on some live on some platform and be like, let's see who Pink 123 really is, and let's see who her boyfriend that she worries is cheating on her is, and expose you. Protect yourself. Strangers don't need to know anything about you. And this doesn't just go for your online behavior. It goes for in person. Stop trauma bonding with people. People have to earn your trust in order to get to know who you are. Stop giving so much of yourself to everybody because you make yourself open and weak. People can manipulate you. They can take advantage of you. You make yourself an easy mark. And we have to stop doing that. You're not responsible for the things that people do to you, but you can prevent them from having the opportunity to do it to you. Your responsibility is to protect yourself and heal. So it's not safe, I'm not shitting on I'm going to be dead ass honest with you. There are a lot of people that I have a lot of respect for in this industry. And then sometimes I see them doing those free live readings for people, or you can, buy a live reading on your personal shit. And I'm just like, why are they doing that? Oh my God, just run a sale for private appointments. Don't be doing that shit. And, you got to protect yourself. Especially in this time, you guys, there's real spiritual wars going on. There are demons that walk amongst us in a human form. Don't allow them to have access to you. People want to get to know you, they can prove that they are trustworthy, and over time then you can allow them to know you on that deeper level. But don't be volunteering to people how they can hurt you or what your weak spots are so they can take advantage of it. You know, you get on the phone with some new guy that you like and you're like, my dad beat me and then my ex-boyfriend cheated on me and then this happened, and then he's just sitting there being like, okay, all right, cool. So what you're saying is, I just have to lie a little extra if I cheat on you, but you're a weak bitch, so you'll forgive me, and then I can use that and make you insecure so that you're not gonna want me to cheat. So you're gonna do whatever you can to be the perfect girlfriend, to hold on to me. This is great. Thanks. Please keep telling me more about how I can fuck you over in this relationship. Stop doing that. You only need to know if Chad is single, how many baby mamas he got. Let him show you who he is over time. Let his actions show you, because people will tell you anything and everything and then do the complete opposite. Stop listening with your ears. Stop speaking too much with your mouth. Listen with your heart. Listen with your third eye. Pay attention to their actions. Oh, look at how sad somebody is that I wouldn't show them my butt, that they have to keep making new accounts and coming back in here. Thank you, because at the end of the day, babe, I have a humongous ego. All this fire energy in me, you know, I'm half air, half fire. I'm a Leo rising. So you boost up my ego because I'm that important that you need to keep coming back to try to get one in on me. And nothing ever hurts my feelings. I don't have feelings to get hurt, so that's cute. You're wasting your time and you're just boosting my ego because I'm like, yes, yes. I live rent free in your head. I love it. It's fucking awesome. Dude, I see people leaving like weird comments, like not just on my shit, on everybody's shit. And I'm just like, imagine that you really are that much of a fucking loser and you have no life, that you keep going on people's pages that you claim you don't like, so that you can leave loser comments and talk about how much you don't like that person. Like, you literally have absolutely nothing the fuck to do with yourself, do you? Because I'm too busy making money, making friends, having fun, talking to Michael Jackson spirit, to ever be watching things or paying attention to somebody that I don't like and leaving rude comments on their pages. I don't, Helen. They got beat out of me a long time ago. So when I said I am my great-grandmother, I am my great-grandmother. She was the hardest old Italian lady that you would ever meet in your goddamn life, and I am grown into exactly who she is. So anyways, guys, but I gotta go. If you want to book your own personal private readings, psychicbellolove.com. If you want to join us for exclusive content, that's the only place that we take a request for any of these readings. My patrons pick all of the topics that we read on over here on YouTube each week. You can go to patreon.com/psychicbellolove or Instagram.com/psychicbellolove. I will not DM you on Instagram for a reading. The teacher does not go out seeking the student. The student finds the teacher. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Remember, y'all is some real ass bitches that went through some real ass shit, so now you can talk some real ass truths. Own that energy. because it makes you powerful. Ain't nobody ever gonna fuck anything up or stop anything that's meant for you. And ain't nobody ever gonna hurt your feelings unless you let them. So stop letting them. Protect yourself. Love yourself, and know that your ancestors love you too. And so do I. And thank you for being here with me. And have a great weekend, my loves.